Welcome back to the channel, dear friends. I'm truly grateful that you're here, seeking meaning beyond the surface, depth beyond the daily noise, and truth beyond the distractions of modern life. If you've been with us for a while, you already know this is more than just a channel, it's a community of hearts aligned toward awakening. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. You've arrived at a space where ancient wisdom meets modern life, where we explore the mysteries that can truly transform your soul. Today's journey is centered on a question that is as powerful as it is misunderstood. What happens when someone recites the Lotus Sutra 3,000 times? Is it just repetition? Is it superstition? Or could it be the most potent spiritual technology hidden in plain sight? Let's dive in. And as we do, I invite you to open your heart, not just your mind, because what we are discussing isn't merely philosophy. It's a roadmap to transmute suffering, to rewrite karma, to awaken the divine within you. The Lotus Sutra, also known as the King of Sutras, is one of the most revered scriptures in Mahayana Buddhism. Spoken by the Buddha in the final years of his life, it represents the culmination of his teachings. In its pages, the Buddha declares a universal truth that all beings, no matter how deluded, no matter how lowly, have the potential to become Buddhas. It is not a text of exclusion. It is a text of infinite inclusion. But here's the real question: what does it mean to recite the Lotus Sutra 3,000 times? Let's not treat this as some checklist of piety. Let's explore it as a sacred process, because repetition in spiritual practice isn't about memorization. It's about transformation. Think of it this way: your mind, from the moment you were born, has been conditioned. Conditioned by fear, by comparison, by culture, by trauma. Every day, you rehearse beliefs you didn't choose. I'm not enough. Life is unfair. People can't be trusted. You don't realize it, but these are the mantras you recite all day long. Now enter the Lotus Sutra. What if, instead of unconsciously repeating narratives of lack and fear, you chose to consciously repeat the words of awakening? What if, instead of drowning in thoughts of despair, you bathed your mind in the vibrations of truth? Each time you recite the Lotus Sutra, you're not just chanting words, you're chiseling away delusion. You're planting seeds in the garden of your subconscious. You're seasoning your energy field with that of the Buddha's infinite compassion and clarity. But let's make this real. Let me tell you the story of a woman diagnosed with terminal cancer. Doctors gave her months to live. Instead of falling into despair, she took refuge in the Lotus Sutra. She recited it morning and night, sometimes struggling, sometimes crying, but never stopping. Friends thought she was crazy. Some begged her to rest, but she said, "I'm not trying to survive. I'm trying to awaken." Months passed. Her body grew stronger. Tests revealed her tumors were shrinking. Eventually, doctors called it a miracle. She called it the power of faith, the vibration of truth, washing away the karma of lifetimes. But even more miraculous was her spirit. "I'm not afraid anymore," she said. "Even if I die tomorrow, I've seen the light." That's the real purpose of practice. Not to avoid death, but to awaken before it. Not to chase blessings, but to become a blessing. 3,000 recitations might seem overwhelming, but let's break it down. One recitation a day is less than 10 years, 3 per day is under 3 years, and each one is a spiritual reset, a return to truth, a rehearsal of the soul's highest memory. It's not about speed, it's about sincerity. It's not about volume, it's about vibration. Each syllable is a prayer, each pause is a breath of the divine, and every time you sit down with that sacred text, you are telling the universe, "I remember who I am. I remember that beyond this body, beyond this name, beyond this story, I am the Buddha nature itself." Some people say, "But I recite and nothing changes." My friend, it is changing. You just can't see it yet. The same way water wears down stone. The same way spring follows winter. The same way stars appear only after the sky grows dark. Your karma may be thick, your wounds deep, your doubt strong, but so is the Dharma. And if you keep showing up, the shift will come. Do not recite expecting a result. Recite to embody the result. Do not chant for blessings. Chant to become the field where blessings grow. Now let me share another story of a man who lost everything. His wife left him. His business failed. Depression consumed him. One day, he wandered into a temple and heard someone chanting the Lotus Sutra. Something stirred in him. He began showing up daily. He didn't understand the words. He just sat in the sound. Weeks passed, then months. He began chanting too. Not with hope, but with presence. Slowly, the fog in his mind lifted. He got a modest job. Reconnected with his son. Years later, he was teaching others to chant, not as escape, but as embrace. He said, "The sutra didn't save my life. It gave me back to myself." That's what 3,000 recitationists do. They peel back the layers. They deprogram the illusions. They stitch your brokenness with the thread of truth. And what is that truth? That you were never broken. That your pain was never a punishment. That every fall was a call to rise. Let's return to the sutra itself. It speaks of countless bodhisattvas, of unimaginable cosmic realms, of the promise that even the most wicked can awaken, and yet its heart is simple. Believe in your own capacity for enlightenment. Trust that you are already on the path, even when you stumble. Understand that your devotion is never wasted. Even hearing the name Lotus Sutra, the text says, plants the seed of Buddhahood. So what do you think happens when you chant it 3,000 times? The answer is not in the number. It's in the transformation that number represents. You start as a seeker. You end as the path itself. You begin with struggle. You end in surrender. You enter with a voice of fear. You exit with a song of freedom. The sutra becomes your mirror, your medicine, your mantra, your map. And as you recite, day by day, lifetime by lifetime, you move closer to the truth that was never far away. So, to anyone out there wondering if it's worth it, Wes, it is worth it. Not because the sutra is magic, but because you are. And the sutra is the reminder. If this message touched your heart, share it. If you've experienced transformation through practice, tell us in the comments. If you want to walk this path together, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. We are all in this sacred unfolding, and your voice matters. Thank you for watching this video.